Well, hello and welcome to Over the Wall, a Chinese Dota podcast featuring me, DOTA, aka Mr. Big Jams, and LeonArthur Dota. How are you doing today?
I'm great. It could be worse. I went out. I've been staying in my home for quite a long time, about a month, and then I went out to work yesterday. Instantly got into close contact with
Hmm.
positive case. So I'm hoping I'm fine. But so far I've been feeling okay, I guess.
Yeah, well, let's hope you remain fine. What's the shirt you're wearing today? Because I don't recognize the logo on that one.
It's just some jersey, esports jersey for a local tournament,
Ah, right,
and it's
okay.
pretty cool. Yeah,
It is nice. It's nice. It's a good one for a
yeah.
local small one. Let's roll straight in then to the big boys. No local tournaments covered here, and talk about I guess the biggest tournament in China in the past couple of weeks at least, which is OJ Dota Pit Season 6, which was won by Extreme Gaming. Was that something that you were expecting? We've spoken a lot about Extreme Gaming here being a lot like the old Vici, being a really strong team, but surely going into that they were by no means the favourites.
Yeah, for sure. I think Action Gaming has been definitely one of the favorites to win the entire thing. I just didn't expect them to, first of all, went into grand final against Team Magma. I think that's a surprise. And then, second of all, 3-0ing Magma as well. I think that was a very strong performance coming out from them.
Hmm.
And these two teams they are gonna go into the Division 1 in the second season from Division 2. So I think that's gonna shake up the entire situation in China right now.
Hmm. Let's go to the first, I guess, the narrative. For a lot of people in the tournament will be PSG LGD dropping out in the second round and then in the lower bracket as well. We were speaking a lot when we did a preview of this tournament that they were going to be obviously one of the favourites. They're the favourites in every single Chinese tournament. What ended up happening here? Were they not on pace?
I just feel like because the patch just dropped as well, right? I think they lost. I think they lost the lower bracket game at the second day of the new patch. I guess
Hmm.
when I was watching, I felt like they didn't have too much hunger, as much hunger as the other teams have. So I think that's definitely one of the biggest thing. And AME he himself said this in interview as well. I think he said something along the line that um you know, something is just slowing down or delaying our holiday plans. He said something along the line like that.
Hmm.
So kind of make me feel like they just want a break already because they won. Obviously, they were the champion of the season 1 of the DPC, and then I feel like this is a much needed break for them.
Hmm.
And recently we've been watching a lot of Galaxy as well, right? And then when No speak about Team Secret, he always said that he's never worried about them to have a slow start. And I feel like this is probably the same case for LGD as well. I just feel like they want some break and they probably want to just take time off and figure out the new patch instead of playing more competition games. So honestly, I wasn't too surprised with the results, and I'm also not too worried about them as well.
It's interesting to hear because I guess they basically took zero time off after TI. They went straight into season one, which a lot of TI
Yeah.
winners traditionally have not actually done. From what you've heard from the players, do you think they're feeling a little worn out, maybe?
Well, definitely. I definitely think it's super worn out. Like, especially how, traveling back from Romania from TI has been very big trouble for a lot of these Chinese teams. And they, like you say, they haven't taken too much of a break as well. Especially when the new patch dropped. I think this is where you probably just not want to play any officials, but just play pubs and maybe watch some games as well.
The other team that maybe underperformed, although they got third place, is Team Asta, dropping down to the lower bracket initially after that Team Magma victory. And we're going to go into Team Magma in a moment because obviously they're a big surprise. Were Asta also out of form, or is it just these other teams exceeded them?
I think Team Esther, they always perform very well in these Chinese local big tournaments.
Mm,
So top three, I think, is not too bad for them. I feel like that day itself, I think Magma definitely outperformed Team Esther.
yeah.
So yeah, which is something that I'm really looking forward to see more during the second tour of DPC because I do feel like this Magma team is gonna shake things up pretty hard alongside Extreme Gaming.
Let's go into Magma then, because a lot of people, I guess, this tournament as well works as a good preview for the new teams coming into season two of the DPC, which would be Team Magma and Extreme Gaming. Let's talk through Team Magma because none of these players are particularly recognizable to people who don't closely follow the scene. Who stands out on this team to you?
I mean, if, one guy that definitely stand out is Dust. I think Dust he has been gaining some reputations for a while now. I think in the first season, everyone is just saying like, they're just looking at Dust and think to themselves, okay, how much is this guy going to carry Team Magma. I think he definitely did a very good job in that. But in this Dota pit, I feel like the one player that really stood out to me was the position one. His IGN is called Bai, and in English, I guess I would just call him as Aquarius. That was the translation of his previous IGN. So Aquarius, like we talked about before, he switched from position two. He has been playing mid for a long while, switched to one, and now I think he's picking up some really good momentum, and he's showing a lot of promises right now, especially in this tournament.
So this is his first major team. He joined Team
Yeah.
Magma as a first. What do you know about him as a player, as a person? I guess what is his back history?
I feel like he has always been the top player in China. Like I don't know if I'm sure you remember about this. I told you that Magma they are formed by three Chinese legends, right? Long Didi, Zhou, and also YYF. They basically made an online tryout that is on stream last time. And
Okay.
Aquarius has always been the one that Zhou personally liked a lot. Yeah, and then I remember they end up didn't take him, but then after a while their position one didn't really make it, so they recruited Aquarius back into the team and had him transition to position one, which is a very big risk last time. Which is why a lot of people in China wasn't really liking their chances of making towards the division one. But I feel like Aquarius has really, I think he has gone through the entire transition period, and he is really one of the better. Is a very solid carry player right now, I would say.
What sort of stuff does he play, and what did he play throughout the tournament? Because there's the other thing I want to kind of go into, but I guess we can do this slightly after we've gone through the teams. But how are the Chinese teams reacting to the new patch? What's coming out, and what came out for Aquarius in particular?
I feel like Aquarius has been playing a lot of Medusa. Like I was looking at about Dota Pub doing some research on him, and then I realized that all right, this guy is playing some Medusa. I think that's a big indicator that tells you that he has made his full transition. Because previously he was playing a lot of position one ish hero, the TA, Razor, Ursa, that tends to be more of a semi carry, and he would share this carrying responsibility with Dust a lot. So Dust will always be like heroes like some Lina, something that has some carrying potential. But right now he's playing Aquarius has been playing more Medusa, Terrorblade, more of this hard carry. So I feel like the entire team is also very confident in him, giving him the responsibility, being the winning condition for the team. Which is why I feel like he has gone through the entire transition.
In terms of the rest of the team as well, we've spoken about their front two positions. Their supports, Kaz is a position 5, age around 26. Again, this is one of his first large teams.
Yeah.
What do you know about him as a captain and as a player?
I don't know if he is the captain actually. I'm really not sure who's the captain in Team Magma right now. But I do know that there is a lot of this very old rookie player that is in Magma. Cass is one. Another one is a position 3 as well. TZY, he's like 26 or 27 right now. And when he first joined Magma, he was 26, and that was his first major team. So he's like a super old rookie in the professional scene, and he has been really grinding hard. And that I feel like this is probably the one season or one tournament that he pop ups very hard as well. Like especially his Pangolier has been really phenomenal.
That's interesting as a narrative then, because you can look at Magma at kind of first glance and go, these guys are rookies. But in a way, it's like almost like an OG seed style team that kind of almost last chances in a way. Players who have been around for a long time, maybe have had significant talent for ages, but haven't necessarily had the chance to hit the big stages. Would you say that's a fair summation of the team?
Yeah, I think so. Like because the entire purpose of this team is that they want to nurture more new players for the Chinese scene, which is why none of them are really big names that we'll see. And I'm glad that they're slowly growing into a household name right now, especially Dust, I would say. I think I saw this on Weibo. It was from Zhou. I think someone said that Zhou mentioned that in the last DPC season or after TI10, some of the other teams actually went under table to try and recruit Dust, and then got scolded by him because Dust still has contract with Team Magma. Yeah, so someone tried to do something sneaky and got found out. So all in all, I would just like to say that I think these players are definitely put earning some traffics now, and then they're also earning some recognitions from the other big teams too.
That's good to hear. Let's go into the final then of that Dota Bit tournament again we can preview Extreme Gaming at the same time. Was that a bit of a wash? A 3-0 can often look on paper like a domination, but sometimes it can be a close 3-0. Was it that case? Did Magma put up fight, or Extreme Gaming just another class to them?
It feels like Extreme Gaming outclassed them, to be honest. At some point, I feel like Team Mama even tilted a little bit, especially game 3, I believe, if my memory wasn't mistaken. I think for Extreme Gaming, right, even though they're a very new team, but they're basically the former Vichy Gaming, the four of them plus the newer Low. So
Yeah.
I feel like experience-wise, they are definitely a lot more higher and better than Team Mema, especially in a BO5 setting, right? Because I believe this is one of the very few time, or even maybe the first time Team Mema is in a BO5 scenario in such a big tier 1 tournament as well.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, how you handle the pressure is definitely something to be learned. And in that case, I think Extreme Gaming is just pulling way ahead of them. And something I want to mention about Low as well. I know we haven't gone to Extreme Gaming yet, but yeah, let me just drive us
No,
into
no,
Extreme
that's what we're
Gaming.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's this thing that I learned from my friend from China. A big shout out to her, Sisi. She has been telling me a lot of stories in China. So O11 is saying that Low, the newest carrier of Extreme Gaming, doesn't perform like a new or rookie player at all. He's like really confident and he makes a lot of shot call, which is rare for a younger player. And I think this is a very, very big potential for a squad like that. Like you have this 4 very experienced player with a very explosive young carry that is never shy to make calls. I think with this combination, I feel like they could make something where they could create something very big in the next season.
It felt to me like the old Vici Gaming and the Vici Gaming we saw at TI often built around their carry. It felt like they were a very carry focused team. They not necessarily for protect one, but they kind of tend to combo around carry players. They play a lot of Faceless Void, for example, and build in that forward in that one position type way. Is that what they're still doing with this young player, or are they playing a more balanced style now?
I feel like they're playing a lot more aggressive right now. Like Erika last time, he was playing a lot of late game heroes like Spectre, Faceless Void, like you say. But look at Low right now, Ursa, TA. All these heroes they want to just fight when you hit a certain item timing. And this is the kind of carry player that suit O11 the best. Like O11 is known for his super aggressive playstyle. He owns his lane, and once he gets a certain advantage, you just want to crush his enemy. And having a carry player like that would follow you up, that knows when's his timing to join you and fight together to close out the game, I think is very important. Well, which is why I feel like this honeymoon period is working so well for Extreme Gaming, especially in this patch as well, where we are favoring fast-paced lineup, fast-paced DOTA. I feel like Low is like a perfect scenario for this Extreme Gaming.
You mentioned the meta then. Is the Chinese meta following the rest of the world at the moment? Is there anything particularly Chinese happening with the new patch?
I feel like, all right, talking about new patch, you have to talk about God King from RNG. Right? I feel like this is the one guy you want to look at.
Yes, I
RNG is a
remember you
team that
saying.
you want to look at whenever a new patch hits. And I'm really finding a lot of interesting things already. They're playing Ricky position 3, they're playing Bristleback position 2, they're playing Ember Spirit on both row, rushing for Desolator as well. Like when the Desolator mid changes, now you can have 25 more damage upon kills. Like they instantly adapted this into Ember Spirit playstyle. Ember Spirit, we have used to see this magical build of Ember Spirit, right? A physical build of Ember Spirit has been long time ago, but they brought it back. So, and it got me very excited because I've been seeing Southeast Asia team picking that up as well. I've been seeing more and more in my pops too. So I do feel like in this very new patch, I feel like RNG is definitely the one team that I will always look at and find something new from them.
Great. Let's move in then to preview next season, and let's start with RNG. Have you already mentioned a little bit about them? They did well in the first season, maybe not the entirely dominant performance. Not a completely dominant performance, but third. Where did they come last season? Third place last season, so pretty strong. Would you expect them to repeat that success again? Are they going from strength to strength?
Well, yeah, for sure. I will only expect more improvement coming up from them as well. Like, first of all, I think they're hungry, especially God King. I think he really wants to prove himself, knowing that he actually took over the drafter role. That tells me a lot about his determination. And of course, right, new patch, God King is gonna own, I think. He's already able to find out so many new stuff and create his own meta with the Bristol Barricky and Ozember Spirit. I think you give him more time, he's gonna figure out more. And especially this patch, like we say just now, it's a fast-paced Dota. I think this fits into Ex Noah and Somnus a lot. Like both of them. In the previous, in my podcast, I talked to Ex Noah and then he said that he and Somnus, they are the believer of aggressive Dota. They want to play Dota in this kind of way, and this is definitely the patch for it. And knowing that all this, sharp timing getting fastened up a little bit, I feel like Chen being brought back to the meta. We have been seeing a lot of Chen recently. Ex Noah loves Chen.
He's a great Chen.
So yeah, if we are to preview right now, I think the DPC that's starting in 10 days, I feel like RNG can have a very solid chance at contesting top 2.
Contesting top 2, but not would they contest when you say contesting top 2? Does that include 1, or are you really saying they have a good chance of contesting 2?
I don't know, because I feel like there's no one that feels to be at the absolute 1 right now. I would say LGD is a big question mark. Like obviously, if they're motivated, if they're hungry, they will definitely be there. I don't know how hungry they are right now, to be very honest. And the other teams, they want it so much, especially Magma, especially Extreme Gaming. The 2 teams that are coming from Division 2.
Yeah.
Like normally these 2 teams, when they just go into Division 2 from other regions, like they will normally just fit. But these 2 teams, I think they have a very strong chance at getting the top 2 as well. Okay, Extreme Gaming definitely looking at top 2. I think Magma, they'll definitely want to stay and hopefully top 4.
So who are we looking then at getting relegated? Because if you mention there's no necessarily weak teams, that to me points to LBZS. But who else then is in that relegation area for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, LBZS. I think you have to tank one of the spot. And then I feel like another one will probably, my gut tells me that it probably comes from eHome or Richie Gaming. Because the other teams, they just look like they are there to contest top 4. They're not there just to stay. And for Richie Gaming and eHome, I do feel like, even though I really want my boy Zeal to succeed, but I think it's going to be really hard for them.
We spoke a lot about Zeal last week. eHome have looked like a reasonably strong team. They were in the the tournament, the playoff tournament, weren't they? eHome, or am I?
Yeah, regional finals.
Yeah, how did they end up doing then performing?
Yeah, they ended up 4th, basically the last place, which is not too surprising, right? Because you have got RNG, Aster, LGD, and eHome in the finals. The 3 of them definitely has a lot more experience in a playoff stage.
You can have a 4th that's reasonable. You can have a 4th that's you're like lucky to be there. Which one was it?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like eHome, I don't know. I just feel like they're not looking too promising. I feel like they have shown a very good improvement, but the improvement is not enough for them to go into this second season, going up against Team Magma and Extreme Gaming to fight for the top 4. I feel like their main priority is probably just to stay in Division 1 for the next season.
So who needs to step up if they're going to stay in Division 1 then? Who needs to perform in this team?
I feel like 7E should step up a little bit more, because I feel like in between the 3 cores, 7E is looking a little bit lackluster to me. I feel like the Shiro has been doing a fantastic job. Zeal has been making some mistakes, but he has been growing pretty gradually as well. His improvement is also pretty obvious. So I expect that to keep going. And for 7E, he's gonna go up, to the next season against a lot of super hungry mid laners, now including Paparazzi as well. It's gonna be really hard for him to really he has to step out of the game, I think.
Yeah, just looking at that list of mid laners you're going up against, there's nothing to say. Ori, Somnus, XM, Pew, who's maybe the one that stands out there as maybe not being the strong, and Paparazzi and Dust, all people that we've personally shouted out as being incredible players. It feels like such a strong lineup of mid laners in the upper division this season that you really have to. Because remember last year, it felt like the teams that were struggling were the ones with the weaker mid laners. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
That is true. Yeah, because like you say about this, instantly, we all thought about Aster, right? Last time Ori has been struggling in TI a lot. And this patch as well, especially we keep saying that this is a patch that rewards fast-paced Dota, means that personal skill is a lot important. And then if you get crushed in the mid lane, the enemy is just gonna snowball at you. They're gonna figure you out. especially Chinese scene is it's a super big scene, but also very small. Because everyone knows each other, so well. They know their weaknesses, they know how to abuse them as well. Especially we have been seeing a lot more, supports that are just contesting the mid lane at 6 to 8 minutes. And this is going to be very abusable. If you lose your lane, it is a very big flag for all the other teams to abuse.
The other team you mentioned then as a possible relegation candidate are Vici Gaming. Talk to me about why you'd put them quite low at the moment, because they're an unusual team for a lot of us. We've spoken about them before on this podcast. A lot of new players. They're not necessarily are they just not good enough, or is there a bigger experience gain that they need to have?
I think they are kind of lacking in both. Like skill wise, they are a little bit lackluster. Experience wise, they're definitely a very new squad. Knowing that in Vichy Gaming, the only one that has went to TI is probably Erica in the team, if I'm not wrong. Or maybe the position 5 as well. But now they make a roster change. They swap Irving for RSF, which I think is like a experience gain for them. They probably are looking for experience from SRF because he's been in a scene for a while. But don't forget that he was the one that got kicked by Extreme Gaming as well. Extreme Gaming definitely saw something lacking in this player, and then he went to another Division 1 this time, who is going to be their direct competitor. So this change, to me myself, I'm not too big of a fan.
When you have a big org like Vici Gaming that's got a team it's a talented team. They stayed up last season to a degree, but a team that's maybe slightly less talented than everyone else, that must be a difficult spot for the organisation to be in, because that organisation I see is one of the top 3 orgs in China over the past 10 years. Is there if they get relegated, are they going to try and rebuild with a bigger squad or sign another squad? What do you think would end up happening?
I feel like it really depends on who can you find to rebuild, right? I feel like the Chinese player, the scene is really small right now. It's really hard for you to find really new player. I think Lo and Shiro is like very rare, and both of them are on position 1. And I couldn't imagine who would you want to find to replace Erica, because he's so new as well. I feel like this Rich Gaming, they probably just need like a very strong captain figure or maybe a coach figure. Because I don't see any of that right now in Vichy Gaming, and which is something that almost every other Chinese team has. So I think in this sense, they are lacking a little bit too much. And I just feel like they're not enough. They're potential, they're talented, just not quite enough.
Fair enough. I think that's pretty much everyone that we've previewed. I imagine if I were to predict your predictions, tell me if I get this right, I would say you would probably say first PSG LGD just out of some loyalty. Then I imagine you're going to go Raw Never Give Up second, Team Asta third, Extreme Gaming fourth, Magma fifth, Vici sixth, and LBZS and eHome seventh and eighth. Have I predicted your predictions correctly, or would you differ from that?
Actually, I think I would differ from that. I have a hot take here, which is something that I don't normally do. But I do feel like PSG LGD might not be top 2. Because I recently I have not. Yeah, I love them. I love Fabian. I just feel like they don't have the hunger. I'm not feeling it. I'm sure a lot of people that watched that game recently are not feeling it as well. Honestly, I'm not worried, because their objective is to win TI. It's not to qualify to TI. Yeah. It's not to get high placement in TI. It's to win the entire thing. So I think it's reasonable for them to slack this off a little bit. I think it's strategically probably smart for them to do it as well to prevent burnout. So I would say Extreme Gaming 1. RNG Esther are gonna contest for the top 2 and 3. And then PSG LGD probably fighting Magma for the 4th.
I want to attend the major though, PSG LGD, because they've not had a LAN yet, although they've had Chinese LAN but not an international LAN. They must feel that they need to prove something after TI to a degree, and a LAN, the first LAN of the season, would be the great time to do that.
Oh yeah, that's for sure as well. I feel like maybe just play enough for you to get yourself into a major, and then learn some stuff from there, because it's also new patch, right? That is like, it's not like there's zero motivation. There still is. I guess I just wonder what is their priority right now within the team. Do they want to rest more? Do they want to observe how is the COVID situation going? Because you never want to go all the way to Sweden for major and then get stuck there again.
Yes, exactly.
Like that's such a nightmare. So I wonder what is their priority right now. I wish I could talk to some of them. I probably will. And I talk to Atlantic today a little bit and then come back in the next episode
Yes,
to
in the
share
next
a little
couple
bit
of
more.
weeks. We'll see we'll see how it begins to go out. Okay, I think that's close to everything as a preview we can get. Is there anything else going on in the scene that people should be aware of, or any other business?
I guess recently, I mean, some fans have been saying that, oh, God is back to playing. God is playing get back to playing ranked games.
Okay.
Would you like to take a guess who's God?
Is it? I mean, it's very hard in China because pretty much everyone is called God in China.
True. So, yeah, I meant FY. So
FY.
FY has been taking has taken quite a long break, and now he's finally coming back to play ranked games. So I wonder where would he end up. The roster has already been locked so far, so I don't think he's gonna come back at second season as well, unless some of the team make midway changes in the risk of these PC points, which is probably very unlikely to happen. But yeah, I guess that is at least we know that FY is not retiring.
Yeah,
I guess
that's a good market.
that could be a good news for a lot of fans.
What team do you think he slots into best if someone were to? I mean, it's not necessarily pleasant to say someone should be kicked for him, but if someone were to be, what roster does he slot into the most effectively?
Ooh, this is like a fantasy, but personally, um, sorry to my boy Felix. We are Malaysian blood, but I'm gonna say I would be so hyped to see FY going back to RNG reunion with obviously Charlie's ex Noah and Somnus. I think that would be such a big storyline.
Well, maybe that will happen if RNG don't perform as possible, but we'll see. I think that's all for this week then. Thanks so much for joining me, Arthur, as always. And thanks for listening. We'll see you in a fortnight.